Kyrie getting sturdy, back with another video, back with another important topic that I want to talk about. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about fasting. And before I say anything, I just want to say that I'm not a healthcare provider. I'm not a professional health worker. I'm not a doctor. So when you take everything that I say, all the information I'm giving you, make sure you check in with your doctor or healthcare provider or personal health worker so that they can tell you if you're not going to be at any risk of doing this, because there are some people that can't fast for specific reasons, but I'll get into those reasons, just not yet. Just stay tuned in and you'll see. But I just want to say that you should come in this video with an open mind. I need you to have an open mind, be tapped in, focused in, locked in, because there's gonna be some really important stuff. This really gonna make sense. Like, if you ever heard of fasting, you probably heard it before, but you never really understand what it was. At the end of this video, trust me, you're gonna understand, and you're gonna probably want to use it to benefit you. But at the end of this video, I can promise you that you're gonna understand exactly what fasting is by the end of this video. So I have multiple points I want to cover, but the first thing is I want to cover what fasting is, and I'll tell you my own what I think it is, and then I'll tell you the notes that I wrote down and the information that I have, right? So first things first, what is fasting? Fasting to me is a set period of time where you only consume water, right? And there are multiple ways you can go about doing that, but it's also a cleansing method for your body. There are multiple cleansing methods, but today we're talking about fasting, so we're going to get into the benefits, the disadvantages, the side effects, and all the nitty gritty. We're going to get really intellectual, really deep in this video, so I really want you to focus up and lock in, tap in, all right? So what is fasting, right? Fasting is a set period of time where you only consume water. It's a set period of time, or it's a cleansing method for your body. So think of your body as a machine, right? If you have a machine that has two parts of it, right? If one part stops working, then the second part is going to have to work 10 times harder to make sure that the whole entire machine doesn't break apart or fall apart. So it works 10 times harder, and it puts itself under more stress. Same thing with your body. We eat 3 times a day. Most people on average eat 3 meals a day, and it's not even when they get hungry, they just eat it on a schedule. And before, with the natives, and like a long time ago when there were natives, before all society and everything that's happening right now, when people ate, like when it was tribes, and I feel like some other people still do it because there's still tribes out there, but that's not what we're talking about. It's where they eat when they get hungry, and they don't eat on a schedule. That's something that was new, that was founded when America, let's not get too deep into it, but basically when, what's his name? I can't remember his name, but one of the presidents, or, no, it wasn't one of the presidents. I forgot his name, but basically it was about a voyage. They came to America, and they started everything. They started to build stuff here, build houses and stuff, and the natives were already here first, but they started that because they thought that eating every time you got hungry was a very primitive thing, but they didn't understand why they did it, so they started eating on a time schedule. Everything that we do is timed and on a schedule. But the bad thing about that is when you eat on a time schedule, you're eating excessively and more than you should be and more than you need to. The more and more you eat, the bigger appetite capacity you'll have. Or basically the more you can eat, and then the more you're gonna want to eat, right? So that can lead to you gaining more weight and possibly obesity. That's why eating 3 times a day, or at least eating 3 times a day on a schedule, is not really good for you. You should eat when you get hungry so that you don't eat too much. And there's a lot of things that fasting can help you with, but first I just want to talk about the health benefits, and then we could talk about everything else. But there are 4 different types of fasting. All right, so there is the time restricted eating, there is twice a week method, alternate day fasting, and then the 24-hour fast. The 24-hour fast is the personal one that I use. I'll talk about why I use that one, but I'm gonna save that for later. I'm gonna save the best for last. I'll tell you why I use that later, but I want to see if y'all are interested in these other ones. So now I want to talk about what these fasting methods, what they actually mean. So the first fasting method, time restricted eating, is a fasting method where you fast for 16 hours of the day and only eat for 8 hours. So that's 24 hours in total, and you eat for 16 hours, and then for the rest of the 4 hours of the day is where you're eating. I messed that up. You fast for 16 hours of the day, and the rest of the 4 hours is when you're eating. That's how it is. You understand that? Make sure you understand. I want to make sure you understand. All right. So, because I might have to say things a few times to really get drilled in your head, so I'll say that again. Time restricted eating is when you fast for 16 hours of the day and then you eat for 4. That's 24 hours in total. Then the next one is twice a week method. Consuming only 500 calories 2 days of the week, and the rest of the 5 days you're only consuming water and keeping a healthy diet. So that's how it is for the twice a week method. So 2 of the days, 500 calories, and then the rest of the 5 days are the fasting days where you only consume water and keep a healthy, clean diet. Then the next ones are the alternate day fasting. I think I already went over that one. All right, no, the alternate day fasting. Limit calorie intake to 500 on fasting days, or about 25% of your normal calorie intake, right? So whatever your normal calorie intake, however many calories you intake on average, just get 25% of that and cut it out on your fasting days, basically. Or not your fasting days, but basically limit calorie intake to 500 on fasting days, or 25% of your normal intake. Then there's a 24-hour fast. The 24-hour fast method is where you fast for 24 hours, and there are different ways you can go about doing this. So you can start this from breakfast to breakfast. So whenever you eat breakfast, like from when you wake up, breakfast time, until the next breakfast time, you can do it from lunch to lunch, and you can do it from dinner to dinner. And it doesn't really matter which way you do it, as long as it's 24 hours. So let's say I wake up at 5 o'clock, right? And it's my fasting day. I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock, and then I'm going to not eat anything and only consume water until 5 o'clock the next day. And then that's when it's over. But fasting depends on the set time you have. I use the 24-hour one, and I customize it in a way that suits me the best. So I don't want you to copy what I do unless it could be useful for you, but I want you to make your own and try to make it in a way that's going to help you and fits around your personality, basically. Not really personality, but the way your health is. So now I want to talk about the risk of fasting. So there are risks of fasting for certain people. So fasting has risks for children, people who are pregnant, people at risk of hypoglycemia, or people with certain chronic diseases. Now, some chronic diseases include cancer, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and arthritis. Now, those aren't the diseases that will put you at risk if you fast, because I'm not sure which ones will put you at risk. That's why I said in the beginning of the video, remember that you have to check in with your doctor. So you have any chronic diseases or any illnesses, or you're pregnant, or you're a child, like really, really young, maybe from like 1 to 10, maybe, fasting wouldn't be that good for you. You want to make sure that you check in with your doctor or healthcare provider to make sure that you're able to fast and that it will be good for you and that you won't be at any risk. Now I want to talk about the benefits of fasting, right? It reduces inflammation. Now, you might not know what inflammation is, so let's just look it up what inflammation is. See, I told you this is going to be a really informative video. We're going to get deep in here. We're going to figure out what all these terms mean, because I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. Inflammation is a normal part of the body's defense to injury or infection, right? So, let me say that again. Inflammation is a normal part of the body's defense to injury or infection, and it's a normal part of the body for defense of injury or infection, right? So you want to reduce that. You don't want to have that. Now, we can look up what are the negative effects of inflammation. All right. Inflammation ignites a long list of disorders such as arthritis, asthma, blindness, cancer, diabetes, and quite possibly autism and mental illnesses. So that's what inflammation can do if you have too much or inflammation buildup within inside of your body. So that's why fasting is that's a benefit of fasting. Fasting reduces inflammation within your body. All right. So that's one thing out of the way. See, you understand that? You understand what that is? So basically, inflammation is a normal defense that responds to injury or infection. Having too much of inflammation in your body can cause diseases or disorders, arthritis, asthma, blindness, cancer, diabetes, autism, and mental illnesses. So fasting can help reduce that, which keeps you or makes it makes you less susceptible to basically contracting any of those illnesses or attracting any of those illnesses to you. Next one, improving conditions associated with inflammation such as Alzheimer's. I think it's Alzheimer's. I don't really know how to say it that well, but I think it's Alzheimer's disease, arthritis, asthma, multiple sclerosis, and stroke. A few of those we already went over, but those are a few of the other things that it'll improve. So if you have conditions associated with inflammation such as Alzheimer's disease, arthritis, asthma, multiple sclerosis, and stroke, if you have any of those, fasting will actually improve that basically. So that's something good to know, because if you have any of those, you might been looking up and trying to figure out how you can reduce that or improve it so that it doesn't have as much of an effect over your life, but you couldn't really find out information, but now you got information here. All right. It also boosts cognitive performance. So there's a lot of people that may not feel that every day their mind is in the right spot, or they feel like their mind isn't in the right mindset or mind of frame every single day. They might feel like their mind is like all over the place all the time. Fasting can bring clarity and boost your cognitive performance. So anytime, say you're in school and you're working on a math test and you fast like the last month before you got to school, right? When you get to school, and I'm not saying you're instantly going to be smarter, but you're probably going to be focusing more. You're probably going to be able to think faster, and you're probably going to be able to think in a way that pushes you forward, basically. See what I'm saying? It also protects from obesity and associated chronic diseases. Reduce inflammation, improves fitness, support weight loss, decreases the risk of a metabolic disease. Now, what's a metabolic disease? Now, let's look that up. A cluster of conditions that occur together, increasing your risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. Now, I could also get into why fasting is very good for if you have type 2 diabetes, or to actually not if you have it, because I'm pretty sure if you have type 2 diabetes, it's not good to fast, but that's why I said check in with your healthcare provider. So if you have diabetes, make sure you check in with your healthcare provider or your doctor to make sure that it's safe to do this. But it basically makes you less susceptible to getting type 2 diabetes, and I'll explain that in a little bit. Just wait. All right. So metabolic diseases are a cluster of conditions that occur together, increasing your risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. I'm gonna go over more of the benefits. Benefits cancer. It benefits cancer patients too. So if you have cancer, fasting, I'm pretty sure it'll be recommended a certain amount of time that a cancer patient fasts, because it might be kind of dangerous or at risk of something happening if you have cancer and you're fasting. So that's why they'll probably, if you fast or make a fast plan, they'll make a fast plan for you that's safe for you if you have cancer. There are some side effects of fasting, which include hunger, fatigue, insomnia, nausea, and headaches. Now, this will only happen for like the first month. It depends on what your fasting style is, but this will only happen for like the first month, and after that, you won't really feel that no more because you'll get used to it. Now, me, I'm gonna tell you why I decided to choose the 24-hour or stop eat method. So I'm a person that works out, right? I work out Monday all the way up until Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I don't work out. That's when I'm resting, right? So I don't want to do any of them where I'm not getting enough, because I need enough protein and meat and fat in my body in order to turn that into muscle. So I can't be losing weight while I'm trying to gain weight to gain muscle. So that's why I did 24-hour one, right? But I said I customized it in the middle of this video, right? And I said that you should customize yours too, right? So instead of doing the 24-hour one where I do it for a month, I'm actually going to be doing this my whole entire life, because this is something that will improve me and allow me to do things and be able to operate better. So basically, me doing this 24 hours on Friday. Friday is one of the days I don't work out. Saturday, Sunday, the reason why I'm not going to do it on Saturday and Sunday is because those days are closer to Monday, where I do work out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I want to make sure I actually have protein and fat in my body and energy in my body, so that when I do work out, I'll be able to turn that fat and energy and use that energy that I have and to turn it into muscle. So I do it on Friday because I work out. I don't want to lose weight. I want to gain weight. But I also want to be clean. That's why I said it's good for cleaning your body. When you eat a lot, there's something that's called insulin resistance. I don't know if you ever heard that, but insulin basically is supposed to be in charge of like regulating and limiting the amount of glucose that it uses glucose as an energy source, basically. So let's look it up. Insulin, right? But that's just my idea on what I know about it. Insulin, basically, it uses glucose, or other known as sugar, to turn that into, or as an energy source, basically. But having too much glucose or sugar in your body is what causes diabetes. Now, eating every single day and consuming too much sugar is going to cause your body to develop insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is when your insulin starts to not function as properly because you're overusing it. So, for example, if you're say you're running, right? Say you're running every single day. Your legs are going to start to get tired. You're wearing and tearing your legs down, and you might end up like spraining your ankle, your leg, or something like that, or tearing something. It's like the bottom of a shoe, right? But bottom of a shoe, if you keep using it, keep running on it, walking on it, the bottom of the shoe is eventually going to start to decay, mess up, and deteriorate. Same thing happens with your insulin if you're overusing it. So then, if your insulin can't break down the sugar as fast as it needs to and as fast as it should be, then that sugar or glucose is going to be building up. A buildup of glucose / sugar is what causes diabetes. So do you see how fasting can help you with that? Fasting allows you to stop eating and keeps you from deteriorating and damaging your insulin, because you're not consuming any sugar or consuming any food. You're just drinking water, so your body doesn't have to focus a whole bunch of its energy purely on eating. It'll be able to actually give itself time to heal and to rest. So just like we need rest when we sleep in order to feel better the next day, your body and your body parts and your organs need rest in order to function properly. All right. What is the main role of insulin? All right. So insulin regulates blood sugar levels, and I basically just talked about that. Now let's look at what insulin resistance is. When cells in your muscles, fat, and liver don't respond well to insulin that can't use glucose from your blood or energy. All right. So basically what this is saying when it says Your cells in your muscles, fat, and liver don't respond to insulin. You and can't use glucose from your body for energy. See what I'm saying? It's saying that it can't use glucose from your body for energy. So then that glucose has nowhere to go because nothing is using it. It has nowhere to go, so it's just sitting there. It's like having a whole bunch of money and not using it for anything. It's just gonna sit there wherever you have it stored, and it's gonna build up. Now, let's see how diabetes, right? How do people get diabetes? Also, diabetes can be a genetic thing. So if you have any parents that have diabetes or any family members that have diabetes, there's a possibility that you could have it automatically, like at a young age, or be born with it. But some people aren't. So it says over here, diabetes is a chronic disease that occurs because the body is unable to use blood sugar / glucose properly. The exact cause of the malfunction is unknown, but genetic and environmental factors play a part. Risk factors for diabetes include obesity and high levels of cholesterol. So it's kind of unknown, but people know some of the factors that lead to it. So we don't know the sole main purpose, but we know factors that lead to it. Eating too much sugar makes it deteriorate your insulin, creating you or allowing you to get insulin resistance, which keeps you from being able to use that glucose / sugar as energy. The energy or the sugar builds up and you get diabetes. So that's why fasting can allow you to do that. Now let's go back a little bit, all right? So basically, our bodies need rest and need time to heal and to recover, just like we do when we're sleeping, when we're exhausted. If you don't give your body time to recover and catch up with itself, it's going to slowly deteriorate. And as you get older, your performance will be less. That's why you see some of these people who are 60, 70 years old and they look like they're 50 and 30 years old when they're really, really not that young. They look like that because they're healthy. They might be fasting a lot, or they might be a vegetarian. Now, I'm not condoning being a vegetarian or fasting. I'm just saying these are things that you can do to be healthier and to make yourself healthy. So that's why I feel like you should take this into consideration and listen to what I'm saying. You don't even have to take this and use it and apply it to your life. You can give this to any of your family members, the information, and pass it on. I believe in gaining knowledge, obtaining it, and passing it on to other people. Now, some people, they might not want to listen, or then that's them. Don't block. Like, all I'm trying to say is don't block your blessings. You get information, try to use it in some way, or try to allow it to bring value to your life, and that's what I do. All right, this is a pretty good video. I like this. I like this topic that we were talking about. One thing before I end this, I also want to talk about what quality this helps you with. So if you feel like you don't have any good self-control, fasting can allow you to have self-control. It can give you more self-control. So let me explain why, right? Self-control is the ability of being able to control yourself. Now let's look it up. Self-control. The ability to control one's self, in particular one's emotions and desires or expression of them, and one's behavior, especially in difficult situations. Now let's break this down, all right? Step by step, right? It says one's particular emotions. It says being able to control one's particular emotions, desires, or the expression of them, and one's behavior, especially in difficult situations. Think of, now let's say fasting is that difficult situation, all right? Now, what is your desire, right? Your desire is to eat food. You have a choice to control that. Now you're giving yourself a choice. When you have self-control, you're giving yourself a choice. You never want to be controlled by your desires. You want to control your own desires. Because when you're controlled by your desires, you will do things that will push you down and keep you back and keep you from being the person that you want to become and seeing who you are. So that's why having good self-control is really important. So fasting is really good to build that self-control, because if you put food in front of you and then a water bottle, now you have a choice. Which one? You're gonna fall under and tap into your desires and just eat that food, or you're gonna tap into your self-control and control yourself, drink the water. I choose to drink that water and not to eat that food. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the healthier option. This option is gonna allow me to do things that no one else might not be able to do, only because they're doing this over here. So, not saying that you should fast every single day, but like I said, I fast on Fridays and the whole entire day, and after that, every other day I'm eating. I do that for Friday because I work out, and also it allows my body to catch up with itself. But yeah, this is a pretty good video. This is a really intellectual video, and I want you to watch this over multiple times if you don't really understand. I want you to watch this as much as possible, because there might be some things that you heard, but it went through one ear and came out the other. I want you to watch this video, rewatch this video as many times as you need in order to really understand everything that I said in this video. We're on a mission. The mission, mission, teach the children. That's what we're on. Mission, teach the children. Teach all people, but really mission, teach the children. We need to know this. We need to know this at a young age, so that as we get older, we'll be more abled, and we'll be able to have a higher thinking capacity, or we'll be able to have more performance or operate better as we get older. But yeah, that's it for this video. Remember, mission, teach the children. And we out, baby.